Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live. Oh, as live as you can get weekly. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday is available to you. You can get it anytime. And Sunday.
Oh. So it's not like Chick-fil-A. We're open on Sunday as well. We're better than Chick-fil-A.
On a Sunday.
We're better than Chick-fil-A.
Third and Atlantic with your host, Joel. Every time I say that, like it's weird coming out doing that voice to say my own name. And some guy Ed.
But the thing with Joel is that it's a bit of a bait name. So you probably met other people called Joel and you've called them Joel, right? So yeah, I don't think I've called many other people Edison. So
yeah, but I could say Joel. Like Joel is a calm name to say, but saying it like Joel, like it's weird.
When you're in the mirror, Joel. Ugh. Anyway.
Yeah. So
we haven't discussed this actually. Yeah.
No, we haven't discussed this. We have not discussed this. We saved it for this very moment.
I didn't actually think. I wasn't actually thinking of course, I thought about it on Sunday, but I didn't actually think about it this week until now. Mr. Joel, you have won the first COVID edition that we've only done half the fixtures because we started late. So you've won the first ever Third Atlantic drafts.
Thank you very much.
We couldn't take it to the Super Bowl, so just for a quick review, let's have a quick 2020 season review.
Okay, go.
Start off preseason. We won't tell you how that went because Joel wouldn't like it.
No, we could tell them exactly how it went. Tell them exactly how it went.
We had 3 preseason weeks. I think it was from week 8.
We had
was it 4?
It
was from about week 8 till about week 10 or 11. I think I won that 3-1.
Let me actually check.
Yeah, both.
Let me actually check. It was 4, and then it was 3-1. Week 1, yeah, 3-1. Sorry.
I think week was it 11 or 12 that we started. We started episodes.
We started at 10.
Oh, we started at 10. Okay, and then Joel won the regular season from then. I think he beat me 5-3. So he beat me 5-3.
And I gave you a consolation week.
No, you didn't. You just gave me one consolation pick, and I still beat you like 8-2. That last
consolation week.
Anyway, I don't even know why you're saying this.
Because I already won. So I already won it. I solidified it, and then gave you like 3 weeks in a row. No, 2 weeks in a row. But yeah,
it was you'd won it 2 weeks in advance, and you gave me one consolation pick. Apart from that, you made your proper picks for it. I'm not having that. You still won. I don't know why you're arguing in this. You still won. I don't know why you arguing.
Because you're trying to act like I put full effort into it after I won. I didn't. I won.
Yeah. Yes, but you still made your picks. But I'm not saying
that's not. No. That's not what we're talking about.
Why are you arguing this?
I gave you the consolation week.
Can you be a humble winner? Can you be a humble winner?
Just like the Chiefs, I rested my starters on week 17.
You are a proper Steelers boy, aren't you? You can't win with grace, can you? Wow, you should definitely be in a Steelers soccer room.
You can't.
So
lose
anyway,
grace, yeah.
So as I was saying before Rudy interrupted, Joel, you won the regular season. That meant you got the first pick in the AFC and NFC, which you chose the Packers. The Packers and the Chiefs. Yeah. And then we did the rest of the draft picks. And you also had the Bucks. So in the semifinals or in the conference finals, I had the Bills against the field. And your Bucks won, and then your Chiefs won. So it means both your teams are in the Super Bowl. Well done, congratulations, you've won.
If we're gonna go by matchups, it wasn't exactly the matchup I wanted. I wanted Chiefs and Packers because that is more offense and more offensive friendly. So let's say
I think we were both rooting for the Packers during that game because I mean you didn't really care too much. You won the NFC game because your winner was still going to
because I'd win anyway. Yeah.
But I think even myself, I didn't really care who progressed, but I did want to from this perspective. I wanted the Packers to win.
It's just you want especially when it comes to the Super Bowl, you want an exciting game. I hear everything, everything else. We're going to get to everything on the other side, but you just want an exciting game. And most of the time, for most people, that's just an offensive game with some shocking players and liabilities on defense.
We'll get to the games. Just reviewing our picks for the playoffs. So, I mean, Chiefs was the Chiefs. I'd said it all year. Like, I'm taking the Chiefs over the whole field if I could. And you were a bit wary about that, but I think we saw what they're capable of doing.
wary, obviously, statistic wise, because you're going to pick you're picking one team against. Quick maths, I flopped it like 18 or something like that. That's a lie. It's like 12.
13.
13. There we go.
Yeah.
So you've got 14 teams in the playoffs. You're picking one team against all of them. So obviously, analytics wise, would tell you to take the field every time. However, as once again we discovered this week's analytics aren't exactly going to help you all the time.
So again, going on the pick, so that was the AFC side. That's fine. It turned out how we expected it to turn out. It gets the NFC side.
Mm-hmm.
This was a bit more
choppy,
not as we anticipated. So you made your NFC pick of the Packers, which was fair. I mean, I would have picked them first anyway. Then I had the second pick of the NFC, and I went for the Saints, which at that time I felt confident with that pick. I wasn't thinking anyone else. We know how that turned out. How a couple of plays can obviously swing the game, but credit to the Bucs, they stuck in it and they got the result that they needed. You were very confident that you felt the Bucs were going to be the second best team in the NFC, and were relieved when I picked the Saints. Tell us a bit more what you're thinking then.
I was okay. So you had the Saints, right? I was 100% certain that the Saints were not the second best team in the NFC. Not because obviously their defense is their defense, and I think normally you would be right in that prediction. Like year after year, they've proven and shown that they are a very good team, top tier, all that kind of stuff. They're normally top 4, I'd say, and then have like maybe a bad loss in the playoffs. But throughout the regular season, they proved that they're top 4 at least throughout the whole season. However, this season, like the injuries Drew had to go through, what he had to put on the field, what he had to fight for to get there, and then it almost was like a kind of Phil Rivers situation for me.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout.
When you saw not in terms of everything else, but when you saw Philip Rivers, his last throw in the NFL was a Hail Mary that didn't make it to the end zone. That is what I thought Drew was going to look like these playoffs when we were picking, because there's only so much a body can go through. Obviously, everyone knows not even as you get to a certain age, but as you get older, you can't bounce back like you once did. And I was assuming that at one point, even if Drew played well, I was assuming he was going to fall off, and
yeah,
he did enough.
Yeah, so that was also something I brought up. Like, I am worried about Drew Brees, but I didn't think the drop off will be that much compared to what you anticipated to happen. And I guess also I just really liked that Saints defense and what they could do. And I felt the defense did hold his own, but what used to be the Saints' bread and butter, their offense, wasn't this year. Kamara couldn't do what he usually could do. And credit to the Bucs when they played them, the Bucs defense was on point. They've shown consistency throughout the year of being an amazing run-stop defense and having some great plays, great turnovers. They always get those turnovers. We saw it this week as well. Their ability to create turnovers when their team really needs it is so impressive. But yeah, and maybe
it's kind of mad because it's mad. But when you look earlier in the season, right? So the first couple of weeks, their defense was amazing.
Yeah, I remember.
Now, then, as soon as you start paying attention, they kind of faltered a bit, and I didn't know why. So obviously I got off them. I went off them. I'm not going to lie to you, went off them. And they've come back with a vengeance. Now I think they're a big play to the moment kind of defense. Like they got Sue, especially the D line. They got Sue in the middle, playing free tech normally, and then you got JPP on the edge. If those aren't big time players,
Shaq Barrett as well.
Yeah, but Shaq Barrett last year he showed he'll do it week in, week out. Sue and JPP turn up in big games. The rest of the time is when you're worried. Like, if in terms of kind of luxury players, if you look at it like that, Sue will never be a bad player, but Sue is not always Sue, like the Sue that people were scared of. When I guess you put him against an Aaron Rodgers, who there's been beef with, and they've been division rivals and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
he becomes a killer, and those kind of moments that come in when that's when you get back on the train, and then especially when you get like they smell blood. So you got a wounded Drew. You got a team that hasn't been able to offense even that hasn't been able to play too many games and snaps together, and then you add that to then you got people counting them out because they're almost at the Super Bowl, but now they're against what is assumed to be the league MVP. They smelt blood for Drew, and they were like, we have to prove ourselves against Aaron, and that's what happened.
So to tie up the knot on our picks and then transitioning onto the Bucks and the game. Yeah, I mean, when you're talking about actually Dominic and Sue, was he on that Rams team that made the Super Bowl as well against Brady? Oh wow, that's pretty cool for him that he made it on the Rams. Now he's making it for the.
So he's the weirdest luxury player of like all time.
Do you know what my favorite Dominic and Sue moment is? When he took a field goal as a rookie for the Lions. Have you seen it?
No.
He had to take a field goal kick for the Lions because I think their kicker got injured and he was the only one. And it was so funny. I'm like, well, why is this big D lineman taking a field goal? But I think he's got a football background. I think his dad used to be a soccer player or something. But yeah, anyway. When does Tampa start thinking about their next QB?
When Brady says goodbye.
But do you reckon they might be like, all right, Tom, we know you got, let's say, 2 years left. Do you mind if we... No, do you mind? Like, who the fuck... How are we then going to say, do you mind? No, can we draft someone in the third round?
Do you know the last person that did that? Where is he now?
I mean...
Tom said, no one is entering my building until I leave.
Jimmy who? Jimmy what? Jimmy, get the fuck to San Francisco.
Get him out. Get Jacoby out. I don't even want Hoyer, really. I just understand you need a backup.
Who's the backup in Tampa? That's a good question. Who's the backup in Tampa?
Big man. Is it Peterman?
No. We love talking about Peterman for no reason. It's not Peterman. I thought it was a vet. For some, I was going to say.
Are you sure it's not Peterman? I felt like they snuck Peterman in, like at some point.
I knew it was an ex-Jags boy. Blaine Gabbert, ex-Jags.
Oh, boy, Gabbert, yeah, Gabbert. Wow, wait, hold on. He's still in the league.
Yeah.
No.
And then Ryan Griffin is there as well. I have no idea who Ryan Griffin is.
I'm surprised they even have 3 quarterbacks, to be all the way honest. Unless one of them is on the practice squad.
He's got 18 passing yards in his career, so I don't think he counts.
Fair enough.
Blaine Gabbert. Because Byron Leftwich is the assistant coordinator. I think they must have been together in Jacksonville. I'm assuming. I'm not sure if they match up.
They really cannot. They really cannot look at anyone seriously until Brady is like at the end of whatever run, and he's like, "Yeah, lads, I suggest you look now because at the end of this, by the time it gets to the draft, I might retire." That is literally the only window they're gonna get, I believe.
I hear that, and I reckon. I mean, Tom knows he's got 3 or 4 years left maximum. Mm-hmm. He's not going to play there until he's 50. My dad's 50. I can't imagine him playing in being a NFL QB.
I can see him doing it just to be the one that done it.
But I think he would want to have some sort of mentorship and to pass some of his ideas on when he knows sort of his time's coming up. And I think actually, do you know, I think Tampa may be different because if he does win this chip with Tampa, he can be like, you know what, I proved I can do it at 2 different franchises. And this is an FU to Bill Belichick and the Patriots. So I've got nothing else to prove to literally nobody. I have done it with 2 different organizations. At the end of my career, I'm going to win another Super Bowl MVP. Mm-hmm. You know what, young buck, let me teach you a thing or two.
Then do you think just even making it to the Super Bowl in itself, not even winning it, just making it, has proved his point?
To him, it will be no, but I think to everyone else, it will be yes. Because of who he's going to come up against. If it was against the Bills, then he lost. It'll be like, oh, how'd you lose to the Bills? Yeah. But when it's the 3-headed dragon that's over there in Missouri,
that team there is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, wouldn't it be? I don't know. It would be a little bit funny if funny is not the right word, but I don't know if both the starting QBs get injured and it's.
I can't think of a worse thing ever in life.
That would be so fun. Blaine Gabbert in the Super Bowl. Blaine Gabbert versus what's his face in name? Oh, I keep forgetting his name. Kessler. No, not Kessler.
No, Henny.
Chad Henne. Gosh, all these old Jags QBs. Gabbert versus Henne in the Super Bowl would be hilarious from a Jags.
Why? Since you said it, I've been really bouncing around in my head. Would I just go to sleep that Super Bowl? But then part of me just wants to watch the car crash.
Exactly. It would be so funny.
But then do I want to stay up to watch the car crash? Like, is that masochistic?
I already booked the day off anyway, so I'm just going to be like, as a Jags fan, I'd be there like, how would these two geezers made it to the Super Bowl and they're going to win? I can imagine one of them win Super Bowl MVP, but yeah. I was just thinking about that. That'll be kind of funny. So let's get into the games. We've had enough of just random jibber jabber.
I really can't like settle on a point of whether I want to watch it or like that's mad. Is that? But that has surely you have to record it situation and watch it back later, so you could fast forward through it if it's like terrible. Like if it gets bad, if it starts hurting.
And for those of you that do stay up to watch late night, whether it is sports or something else, you get to a certain point where you just can't resist the moment of closing your eyes and just shutting it all down for the night. There's just a time when you hit, you're like, that's it. I get it with the NBA games. I try to stay up for as many Magic games as I can, but if it gets to the third quarter, and I'm just like, I love you boys.
At some of those points, you take an L on missing a miracle. Some of them you do, but
I missed the Cole Anthony buzzer beater. But anyway,
I was always waking up for that one.
Let's talk about the Bucks Packers game. So,
yes, sir.
First thing I wanted to say when I was jotting on my notes, Bucks just had an amazing start. Some of the throws Tom threw in the first half was just super nice. Right in the bucket, boom. I think I remember two specific throws, one to Evans on the left, and the left-hand side to the numbers, and another one similar. Whoa, those really nice. I was like, uh-oh. If I was a Packers fan, that's when I was like, uh-oh. And Evans looks really good at the start compared to how we did against the Saints. And that's just a little bit of praise I wanted to give the Saints because Lattimore is just an absolute beast. And also, another thing I noticed right at the start was the Bucks run defense was really, really good. Part of it maybe was because Aaron Jones was injured and they didn't have their full running game at their disposal, but I felt the Bucks run defense looked really good. What do you think about the start of the game?
So two things. Brady, absolutely insane. Like what he did in that was crazy.
Yeah.
But one thing I think people are just starting to realize, that pass rush is killer. That pass rush was so disgusting. Aaron Rodgers did not have a beat to really think about anything. Like they were downfield. I understand that both their tackles were injured, or they moved their both.
They were flipping positions between the.
Yeah, but what's their highest paid tackle in history now?
Bakhtiari.
Bakhtiari. There we go. He went down, so they moved the right to their normal right tackle to left tackle. They don't have Balaga anymore, so I mean, maybe you should have kept him for another year or two or three. But so they switched him to left, and then they put this backup tackle in at right, and then left them both on islands. Obviously, you want to kind of dominate the middle with Vita Vea and Sue in the middle, so you're gonna want to have most of your double teams within there. But boy, did they made him pay. They made him pay big time, and it looked painful, to the point where it got scary. They were hanging in, but it didn't look good.
A couple other things on that. Bucks defense you're talking about. I think another big thing that helps is their abilities for their linebackers to be tackling machines and get those solid tackles. I was looking at how many he had because I wanted to get this correct. Yeah, Devin White had 15 tackles, 9 of them were solo, which is really useful if you've got that happening and you can get 2 edge rushers and a 3 technique. If you can get your 2 linebackers to rush as well, that's really useful if you've got your middle linebackers who can tackle for days and cover. And also, as you were saying, they had their defense, again, causing the pass rush, made Aaron Rodgers throw some really bad throws or make the wrong decision. Not make bad throws, make the wrong decisions. There was a couple of times when people
he had to speed up his decision making and couldn't switch to the next read.
And they had some great red zone defense at the end of the first half to the classic bend but don't break to force the field goal instead of touchdowns, which which we saw at the end of the game, was very crucial in that victory. But yeah, so much credit goes to that Bucks defense at the first half.
Yeah.
One thing I did want to say about the Packers is I did feel that their non-O-line blocking was really good. So when they did have any of those non-receiver, those receiver screens or those running back screens, I really like their blocking from their skill positions.
Their run blocking, surprising. I feel like they kind of switched roles. The Bucks were able to just bang, big play, bang, 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 touchdown, drive down the field however they want. Whereas the Packers were more of a kind of run, short, intermediate passes, kind of that way. They did obviously take shots downfield, and they were dropped. It is still puzzling to me how much the Packers receivers drop the ball. The only good thing is they also make big plays, and normally within the same game, you would hope. But some things just don't make sense.
So obviously we're going to talk about a couple of the refereeing decisions. We'll leave that to the end.
Big decision.
The big talking points we'll leave to the end. One other quick thing I want to say as well. I realized they were taking, both Tom and Aaron Rodgers, taking a lot of their snaps with like 2 or 3 seconds left on the game clock. And I was thinking, sort of, that must be something, either they're trying to absorb as much information as they can with as much time as they can, or this is part of a tactic to, I don't know, take time off the clock because maybe they're worried about the other QB or the other offense getting the ball. I was just wondering, sort of, it wasn't really spoken about. Maybe this is like an unspoken rule that I don't know too much about, but I noticed that they were taking the snaps on like 2 seconds ago or 3 seconds ago.
The later you snap, so it's, you get to obviously take in all the information.
Yeah.
You say you take it in and you know everything in 5 seconds. You know what the defense is, you know where they're going to go. If you take 5 seconds off the play clock, then change your play, the defense has time to change theirs. So you wait till like 10 to 5 seconds left on the play clock. Change your play because you've already know what their defense is and you've known for like 20, 30 seconds. You change it, and then they didn't have time to make any calls themselves, make any adjustments. So then you could just snap it at the 1 or 2 and then go. The problem with that being was, I think these guys, especially the Bucks D line, were very aware of the play clock and were just going on 1 because they know Aaron Rodgers is not going to take that delay penalty.
Yeah.
So on they timed it right. He's going to make his call, whatever happens on the back end, that's not my business. On 1, I'm gone. So they start moving on 2. They don't cross the line. 1's gone. Bam. They beat the tackle. Aaron Rodgers is now moving. He's forced to throw the ball somewhere else.
Okay. Just something I noticed that no one really spoke about this for. Just wondering, because I know that thing, obviously, that you get to see more of what the defense is doing, but it wasn't like the defense were moving around or there was any motion to see how the defense reacts. But okay, 2 big things.
Also Aaron Rodgers does that a lot. I'm not Brady kind of mixes. I feel like he mixes where he goes in the play clock normally, so that you can't really like time it. But Aaron Rodgers normally drags the play clock down because he's normally a boom over the top guy anyway, so it don't matter to him.
Now, 2 big things, 2 categories: big plays, big calls. Big plays. That end of the first half. Oh, what are you doing? So the big stop from the Bucks anyway to get the ball back to the offense. You really hope that the Packers would have got, I think they got a field goal. You really hope they'll get more for it or even gone for it. I was like, just fucking go for it. Go for it. Maybe I'm just thinking too much like a play Madden or whatever, but I'm just like, go for it. But whatever. They get their points, move on. But then their inability to stop Tampa, not even scoring, but I mean,
here's the thing, right? So the play before the big one was a dropped interception, if I'm not mistaken.
I do remember something like that. Those 2 players covering.
There was like 6 seconds left on the play clock. I think it was Jay Alexander, if I'm not mistaken. He drops a pick. Should have been a pick. There's no doubt about it. He had it, both hands, goes through his hands, or boom, boom, boom off the body. Cool. The next play, Tom Brady makes him pay. for whatever goes on, let Tom Brady throw a screen, but every one of your players should be in the end zone and then run to stop the screen going forward. Like, there is no way you as your team that has Aaron Rodgers as your QB, there is no way you let a guy throw over the top of you for, especially as the last play of the half or end of the game. There's just, those two things shouldn't happen. You know this because your own team does this to people. So this is what you know. Don't let him score. And big man.
Scotty Miller.
Not even Scott. Who's it? King. I forgot that. Kevin King.
Desmond, or is it Kevin?
I don't want to call him by his name. No, Desmond King is a good corner. Kevin King is not. Okay. Let me not lie. Day to day, I don't know if he's a good or bad corner. I just know that day
He's Kevin King. Kevin King.
Yeah. That day he had his game. This game, I think he had 3 touchdowns on him. Fournette, Scotty Miller, and I can't remember the last person. I think it was probably Godwin, probably. But boy, that's rough. That is rough. End of the half, you let a guy run past you.
And I think we all know how much receivers don't like to get beaten by short white boys. I think that kills them, and it's fair. I mean, you don't expect a short white boy to blaze you like that. You've hit it. James Charles spoke about it on NFL 100 when Adam Thielen. It was one of my favorite clips because I love James Charles, and yeah, you can't have little Scotty Miller beating you like that.
He's just straight up run past you. Straight up run past you.
I saw a clip on social media of Scotty Miller doing track in high school or college. Have you seen him?
No.
He is rapid. He's a proper track athlete. Credit to him.
So that makes it even worse. So now in the defensive meeting, you've circled him and said, do not let this guy run past you. Whatever you do, this guy...
What was his 40? Scotty Miller, what was his 40?
I know, guess what? I know he won at the combine. Not at all.
6th round pick from Bowling Green. Urban Meyer's old stomping ground.
Bruh, just keep him in front of you. If he's going to beat you like that, tackle him. Hold him. Get the flag.
40-yard dash. Scotty Miller. Let's see if it's reported anywhere.
If it's not even reported anywhere, that's even more embarrassing.
So apparently, according to Bowling Green, it was 4.36 seconds. 4.36, pretty good, I'd say.
Yeah, that's good enough to know not to let that guy run past you.
Yeah, so that was one of the big plays. Then you've also got the 4th down. Now, there are times when I watch a game, because I mean I've been religiously following the NFL for about, let's say, 4 or 5 years, and been trying to consume as much content as I can, try to learn everything I can in that 4 to 5 year period. And there are times when I see something happening and I'm like, wait, that doesn't necessarily make sense to me. Like, logically, I'm like, why didn't they do that? Mm-hmm. And sometimes the commentator reassures me. He's like, they say the same thing that I was thinking. I'm like, okay, cool, I'm not going crazy. They thought the same thing. When that happened, I'm like, when they missed the 3rd down conversion, I'm like, it's 4th down. They should definitely go for this because there's just over 2 minutes left. I don't think they're going to get that many stops on this Bucks offense, especially with Tom Brady.
Stop right there. Right there. What part of their defensive performance that day would make you believe that they can stop Tom Brady?
Their ability to create turnovers, but that's not going to stop a dink and dunk and trying to waste the next 2 minutes of Tom Brady. Of all the people,
2 minutes, Tom Brady.
Yeah. And then I was like, they're going for it. Oh, this is really strange. And then the commentators was like, yeah, this is strange. Why are they not going for this? Like, do they really expect it? And when myself, which I wouldn't consider myself an absolute novice, but knowing what I do, I don't understand. Maybe, I mean, LaFleur said after the game, he admitted, I didn't have my best performance as a coach, and it's not the best time to not have your best game.
So I haven't heard anyone say this, but it just popped into my head. I think those poor kind of red zone, like kind of areas at the beginning, or earlier in the game, really clouded his judgment. Now, no one has said it.
That's a good shout.
No one has said it, but it's a similar situation. They went 3 downs, obviously, kicked the field goal earlier. 3 passes to Deontay. First of all, the first one should have been a catch. I don't know how it didn't connect. I guess he turned the wrong way or turned late or whatever, or turned a different way to where Aaron threw the ball. But that, like, as it was going on, I was like, cool, touchdown, let's go. What? What? Or okay, maybe a flag. Maybe a flag here. No, okay, we go to the next down.
We'll get to that.
No flag. It's cool. Whatever. At least 2 more downs. Most it'll take is 2 more attempts. The next play goes, boom, he's open. Aaron sees him. Okay, smacked. Huh? I mean, show the replay. Okay, yep, I see how that happened. He was just coming off the route. Lucky with a hand up, Aaron kind of threw it right to him, but okay. The next play, I see him start moving. I see everything's a bit clogged up. Everything's okay. He's moving. He's still alive. Now he's going to run it into the end zone.
I thought that same thing as well. I'm like, oh, it's there.
Yeah, but then he chucks it. I'm like, okay, no, this Aaron Rodgers. Who am I to question? Who am I to question the throw he just made? Nowhere again. Huh? Now I was looking, it's obviously that field is open, right? And you'd think. But then when you watch the replay, you see the corner peeling off his man. They like handed off his man to the safety. So he was just starting to peel off. So maybe Aaron thought, okay, he can catch me. That's fair enough. I mean, you're Aaron Rodgers, you can dive. You are quicker than people give you credit for. But you know what I think really scared him, right?
Before you maybe he was thinking about the touchback, but carry on.
That is true. That is very true. But I know what I really think scared him. JPP runs round. So now he's scared of JPP behind him. JPP has caught him from behind in this game. He wasn't running per se, but as JPP bends the pocket, he has come back and hit him from behind and wrapped him up. Okay, cool. That's not what I really think scared him though. Was Ndamukong Suh was to his left, and he saw him. Those two don't have a great relationship. Let's not forget, Ndamukong Suh was trampling on his ankle a couple of years ago.
Yeah, he was in the division. Yeah.
So Ndamukong Suh has been shown, if he gets his hand on Aaron Rodgers, he is a dirty, dirty player. And I think that's what played in his head. That's why he got scared. That's why he didn't want to run. Because at least if he throws it or gives himself up, the referee will somewhat protect. But then it's 3rd down, terrible again. Whatever, we've got 4th. Why am I seeing field goal unit?
Yeah.
I think all you hear is Romo going. I think he thought he had 4 downs here. Huh? Oh, we don't want to win this game. You want him to lose. You don't want to win.
Wasn't also during that drive where Lazard was open on the under route.
Yeah.
And that's what's another one. I was like, no, all right, you should have made the play.
Yes. So he was stuck on Devontae.
Yes.
Fair enough. He's your best receiver. He was stuck on Devontae. Devontae could have still made that catch if he kind of slowed down the route at the top because he felt his momentum took him out of the back of the end zone. But Lazard, boy, you're feeling it. If he just chucks it to you, maybe it's a whole different game.
Yeah. And going on to your original point about being scared of the Bucs red zone defense, there was a 2-point conversion as well, which was in the geezer's hand to catch, and it slipped or he missed it.
This is what happens. This is what happens when you drop balls all year or you drop balls at big moments earlier in the game. Or not even big moments, at lesser moments earlier in the game. Because when the big moment comes, he didn't even look at anyone else apart from Devontae. Not a single look.
So I knew that Justin Jefferson was a late 1st-round pick. And I was like, oh yeah, Jordan Love was a late 1st-round pick. Oh my gosh. was Jordan Love before Justin Jefferson. And Alex was like, okay, no, Justin Jefferson came first and not Jordan Love, but still Packers traded up to get Jordan Love. And I was thinking, who could have they picked up? The next offensive skill position was Clyde's Edwards-Helaire, and I don't think Packers would have picked him because they had Aaron Jones.
Yeah, and AJ Dillon has been good for them, to be fair.
Yes, he looks really. AJ Dillon looked really good on a couple run plays he had. I don't know why they didn't rock with him a few more just to get some easy conversions, because
I think he just came back from an injury for this game. I believe he missed the last game.
But still, I remember those 2 or 3 runs where he was carrying some of the Bucks defenders an extra couple yards whilst being tackled. I'm like, use him a bit more. Like, do you see what he's doing? But then I think the next offensive player, apart from that, was Brandon Ayuk. And I'm thinking, what could have Brandon Ayuk have done with that offense?
He would have been injured for this game, so he don't even matter.
So that's what I'm trying to think. Like, yes, they one, so they shouldn't have drafted Jordan Love, and 2, he would have been the next best option. They could have been someone out there that they could have had. Wasn't
there a corner around that time that they could have gotten?
Yeah, but the conversation
a linebacker, something.
The conversation going in was they have never drafted an offensive skill guy in forever in the first round, and this was the year. This was the year with all the wide receivers.
This was the year where Aaron said it before the draft. Maybe we go receiver first round. How about that?
And if maybe Justin Jefferson wasn't selected, would they have taken him? I'm assuming yes. Imagine Justin Jefferson.
I think no. I think no. I think they have to be wrong and strong. I think they have to be wrong and strong at all times.
Just imagine a little bit, because I was just listening to the I Am Athlete, my favorite podcast out there. No matter what, I love I Am Athlete, and Justin Jefferson was on it this week. Imagine Justin Jefferson in that offense with Devontae and Justin Jefferson. And Aaron Rodgers.
I don't think he breaks any records.
No, he doesn't break a record.
I don't think he breaks any single record. No, not even like, he doesn't break the records that he broke. I don't think he breaks a single record, because Devontae will always be number 1 for Aaron. So, in this stint,
he may not have a record, but he may have some jewelry,
and he would have a lot better hands than who they have currently.
I remember, lot better hands. So I'm not sure how much you know about Alan Lazard, but Alan Lazard was on the Jags when he first came to the NFL, and we played him 2 years ago. This was after the Saxonville year. And there was so it was at the end of the game. Blake Bortles threw him a ball, he caught it, and he fumbled it. And that play sealed the game, and we lost it. And I just remember everyone, all the Jags fans on the comment sections of YouTube videos being like, this guy's so trash, being typical sports fans. And I look at Lazard now and I think, you know what, credit to him for where he's come since then, because
he's a lot better than since then.
Exactly.
But boy, I don't get how you don't have great hands as a receiver.
I think he's just overqualified for that position. He's nice enough for your third receiver. You just need another number 2 there. You'd love to have a little slot receiver there, like a Jarvis Landry, a little slot receiver, a guy working the outside, a guy working the inside. Tunyon didn't get that many balls as I anticipated for a tight end.
But he was great blocking. He was great blocking.
I hear you, but they needed some offense. They needed some. Maybe I'm just being harsh. Maybe I'm just being a bit harsh.
No, I think they went more running, because they had a decent run game. Like you said, they had a decent run game. Okay, apart from the red zone, Adams had a decent game. Even Lazard had yards. He got a big catch over the top after dropping a few. A big catch where he stayed in bounds.
Marquez was 4 for 115.
Marquez, yeah. Marquez was what, 4 for
115.
There we go. Like, those are obviously big catches. But I just think ever since his first Super Bowl, the Packers have done everything they can to sabotage Aaron Rodgers' legacy.
I don't think it's sabotage. No, you can say sabotage. I think it's more like they feel so confident in that they don't think that he needs any help, or they feel like, we can just focus on other stuff. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
But you're not even focusing on the other side of the ball. Yeah. Someone ran for 150 yards in the championship game, and your next draft pick after that game was a quarterback. Like, you didn't even play this year.
Yeah. How much trade value would Jordan Love had right now? But,
I think you can't even get him on a vet min. You can't get him on a rookie contract. right
Josh
now.
Dobbs or Jordan Love?
Josh Dobbs. No, Josh Dobbs. Josh Dobbs, right? Because the Packers have. I swear he's like their third choice QB. They don't have faith in him.
Is he?
There was a video of him at the camp. He couldn't hit a net.
Even we could hit nets when the NFL came here and they were doing the drills with us.
Exactly. So it just doesn't make sense at all.
So to tie last couple of bows on this, one thing I forgot to mention that I did want to bring up when you were a little bit slating Shaq Barrett, and I wanted to check because I felt he had a really good game. I needed some numbers to back me up here.
Barrett, that's not saying that. He's more consistent.
Yeah,
I'm saying he's more consistent than the other two.
Oh, okay, but so I just want to shout him out anyway.
Yeah,
3 sacks, 2 tackle for losses, 4 QB hits. Love to see it. So
he played up to that contract and all that kind of.
So he got a franchise tag, and I remember reading an article, just checking up on some Jags news, that Jags should go after Shaq Barrett. That was just something random I read. But
of course,
I didn't know how to feel about it. No, because they had a list like who each team should sign, and they had Shaq Barrett. I was like, okay.
Yeah. But he for the last 2 years he's been up on that list for a lot of teams. As they should, like, he should be their target. Yeah. And what, you think he's leaving this year? Yeah, makes sense. And it just get Tom Brady. Yeah, just get Tom Brady and go to Some people will take cuts.
So the last thing we'll talk about, the referee calls. Now, here's what I'll say. I was pissed off anyway because I did want the Packers to win, and you can see the reaction from the referee when that pass interference happened, because everyone was watching. They're like, okay, it probably is pass interference, but will the referees call this? And there was just a long delay. And then after the long delay, you see the flag being thrown. That's what it was like. I threw my hands up in the air. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. But it was a pass interference. Here's my thing. I'm annoyed that the other plays weren't called. All the other plays were like 6 out of 10 should be called. 6 out of 10 should be. That pass interference was a 7 out of 10. And their threshold was, okay, we'll call a 7 out of 10, but we won't call any of the 6s. And that annoyed me because the 6s should have been called. That was my thinking. What say you?
Obviously, you've approached this as an even keel, logical person.
Okay, here we go.
They should never referee another game in the NFL ever again. Like, that was disgusting. It's like they were looking for Brady. I was like, wait, is this the one we should call? Is this the one?
Yeah,
that's the one we should call. They've called nothing all game on either side. They've called nothing. So it was bearable because they didn't call it on either side. There should have been a lot. There should have been a lot in the red zone for the Packers, because that's where their ones happened. But you know what? I hear you. If you're not going to call it there, you're not going to call it on that side. You guys, you've been doing this all game. Now it is what it is. For that be the only one, not literally the only one you have called all game, I need an investigation into match fixing instantly. I need to know who has ties to Tampa. I need to know whose family betted on the game. I need to know what the last, since they had that game, since they got what's the word, assigned that game, I need to know every single text they sent out and every call that they had. I need to know who met them in the dark alley. I need to know who gave them the money. I need to know what houses they're living in and if it matches up to the salary that they've got. Because that is disgusting. That is 100% match fixing. There is no way you could tell me otherwise.
I just loved the delayed reaction because as soon as the play happened, I'm assuming everyone's looking at the refs. Yes. They're like, what are you going to do? And there's a delay. And obviously you don't see the ref pulling out the flag. There's a delay. And then in the screen, you see the flag come up. You're like, oh, no.
I'm not even going to be as wild as to blame them for the loss.
Yeah? No. We both know that, yeah.
I'm not blaming them for the loss. I'm just saying an investigation needs to be done because that just doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. No matter how logical you break it down, no, there is no way you could go from being, this is a rough playoff game to, but this is the one. This is the one we're going to call.
And again, just going on to that specific call again, the ball was just so out there as well. Even if he didn't grab him, I don't think he would have got that because he just fucking grabbed his shirt a little bit. Of course, if you're going at speed, that's going to whatever. But I don't think he was going at that speed where he could have caught it anyway. Yeah. But you could see the shirt coming out and it's like, oh.
No, we literally saw, for the most part, the same throw by Rodgers, but then the Bucks player had like the whole jersey and shoulder pad.
Shoulder pad, it was a shoulder pad. Yeah, the shoulder pad. Yeah, I do remember.
Of the Packers player, and I believe it was I think it was Valdez-Scantling. So he could throw it on. He wasn't going to catch it, even if it hit his hands perfectly. I don't care. Or Lazard. Yeah. It might have. They could have both been in the radius and whatever, but there's no way that one does not get called and this one does.
I also felt there was a pretty big helmet to helmet that could have been called on the Bucks. That I just felt, that looked really, really helmet to helmet. I'm not sure. They may have missed it. I mean, there's so many things to look at, whatever. But yeah, big plays, big calls. At the end of the day, Packers were in the opportunity to win it. They had the opportunity to win it. They fucked it up themselves.
But that's the worst thing. Like, as amazing as Brady played,
I didn't think he played that amazing. He had some big picks big turnovers.
Obviously, no. Yeah, there was a difference in the first half to the second half because he started off on fire. Obviously, sustained greatness. Once you get to a certain point, you don't need to carry on and that. I don't think that was his thought process, but that's just what it is. He got so high that he just kind of rode it out for the rest of the game. But the Packers were in it. The Packers were in it. They weren't like scary in it, but they were always threatening. Like, I thought that they could do the comeback. Like, I really did. And that's what I was waiting for.
Exactly. And I think if you were to ask, all you want is the opportunity to make the play. And they had so many opportunities to take the game out of scruff of their neck, and they didn't. And I think the Packers are going to be kicking themselves. This is going to be so hard to swallow for them.
I don't want to hear anything about, we could have done better. I don't want to hear that because you messed it up.
Which is quite a contrast, I feel, to what happened later on that evening. Bills Chiefs.
Boy.
I don't even want to talk about it too much because it turned out how much people expected it to turn out. Like, credit to the Bills. Like, they tried to stick in there. I thought they had a chance at the start in the first half. Obviously, I was rooting for them when they were 9-3 up. I'm like, come on, they can do this. Miko Hardman.
When they were 9-3 up, I was like, no, oh my gosh, it's actually going to happen. Oh my no.
And it didn't happen. I switched it off at halftime. I'm like, I ain't listening to this anymore. Fuck this. I'm going to bed. And the Magic Charlotte game was on as well. Magic Hornets game was on as well. So I had two screens up, and I was like, fuck it, we'll get smacked up by Charlotte. I ain't trying to fucking watch this. I'm going to bed. I got to work tomorrow morning. That was after that. It just didn't. I mean, I don't want to speak about it too much just because it turned out how we expected it to turn out. I'm not having all the Josh Allen slander. I mean, this is his first run in the playoffs, and he made it to the championship game. Fucking credit to him. Hopefully the Bills will be back next year, and I'd love to see how they can progress again next year.
They need a second receiver.
What's his face? Dallas guy. I keep on forgetting his name.
Beasley.
Beasley.
Yeah, but not as in a second outside.
Okay, because he was an all pro. Yeah. He was an all pro.
In the slot, Beasley is amazing, but they need someone that when they're looking for deep, they can't always look for digs. But most importantly, Bills Mafia gassed the entire world.
No, I know their defense was good. I think that's a bit harsh.
No, the defense is okay. As in, it's better than league average. It's above average. But the offense was what was really driving this team this year, when normally it's the defense. But this year it was the offense. But most importantly, everyone really thought they were about to beat the Chiefs.
No,
a lot of people came into that game worried about the Chiefs.
So I managed to catch at the end of the broadcast before the game, they have the predictions. And I think the only person, the other four people predicting, I can't remember who's exactly on the broadcast, the only person predicting the Bills was Coach Cowherd. Yeah. Everyone else had the Chiefs, but yeah.
No, the photos, the Bills are going to come in. They're going to ruin that. They're going to upset. They're going to upset the whole week. They might not have picked them when it actually push came to shove, but all the talk radio, all the podcasts, everything was about, they were more sure that the Packers would make the Super Bowl than the Chiefs. It seemed like for a sec. And that was handled mighty quickly.
So yeah, I was just talking a bit about the defense. I was disappointed that they weren't able to get any pressure on Mahomes or create any sort of defensive pushback. They had 1 sack on the day when the Chiefs had 4. They had 1 sack, 3.5 tackles for losses, when the Chiefs had 4 sacks, 4 tackles for losses. That's not going to help you against this Chiefs offense. Yeah. I mean, do you have anything to say about this game? Because it just turned out how, I mean, Tyreek Hill, 9 receptions, 172 yards. What? Wow.
I understand you cannot stop Tyreek Hill. I fully understand that. However, there is no way week in, week out, you should be able to do what he does. I don't like you. This is someone, once again, another one. You circle him during the meetings the whole week. Don't let this guy get behind you. The problem is he will catch the ball in front of you, make you look like an idiot, and still outrun your whole team.
And the problem is he's got that geezer from Ohio who plays tight end.
Yeah.
Who you have to try and double him as well because he's an athletic freak at times. Like, it's so hard covering Kelce as well. But even Hardman, I'm watching him play and like, okay, this will be a 10-yard gain. Gets fucking 50-yard gain, runs the whole fucking field. And I'm like, oh, great. Yeah, there goes your defense, Bills.
You know what? Remember all that talk when Tyreek said he's not even the fastest guy on the team? I really think that's a smokescreen. I'm gonna Hardman is crazy fast, but Tyreek Hill, different.
Yeah. I'll get to the Chiefs a bit more later on in Who Are You, because that was just something that popped out to me when I was watching them. Yeah, that's my thoughts on the game.
Travis Kelce should not be as open as he is. Another one. It's not even like, oh, his speed is amazing. His route running is top tier for a tight end. But then you'd think maybe you just put a safety on him. Maybe you put like your nickel guy. So maybe like a Jalen Ramsey, kind of a big physical guy to match up with him, kind of thing. Because obviously you're going to need a blocker just in case. But he eats, and I don't fully, when you watch it, you don't really fully understand how he does it. Because I think even the week before, a highlight of one of his routes was going around socials, and it doesn't look like crazy, but the person defending him was touching the floor off a cut. So I don't know how it's done. Don't know what he like with his eyes. Don't know what he's doing, because obviously the highlight was from behind him, but it looked just like a simple jab out, like go cut back inside. But what part of that makes a defender touch the floor on his outside as if he's running an out route? It's like little stuff like that, with these two that it's just weird.
And I'll get into more detail about them later on the show, about what I think of them and who I'm going to compare them to. So that sets up for Tampa versus Kansas City in the Super Bowl a week from now. We'll do a preview show next week once we have a bit more information and see what's happening.
Preview show, yeah.
So that is it for the first down. So second down, Mel Kiper has just dropped his first mock draft, and with the normal, I mean, not even with the fact that Jags have the number one pick, I just love looking at mock drafts, just getting a sense of who the players are and what potential team needs are. So I'm just going to quickly run through the top 10, and then we'll just discuss some things throughout the top 30 that may stand out to you. So Mel Kiper's got Trevor Lawrence going to the Jags as number 1. He's got Devontae Smith, number 2 to the Jets. Interesting. You've got Jamar Chase, number 3, going to Miami. So 2 wide receivers there. You've got Zach Wilson, 4 to the Falcons. Interesting. Bengals get their guy in Penei Sewell from Oregon, the tackle. You've got Jalen Waddle, 6 to the Eagles. 2 Bama receivers in a top 6. Damn. You've got Justin Fields, 7 to Detroit. Stafford's obviously requested a trade, so we'll see what. No, not requested trade. He's likely going to move away from Lions, so we'll see where he goes. Got 8. Carolina taking Trey Lance. What does that mean for Teddy? 9. You've got Michael Parsons, the linebacker from Penn State, going to Denver, and then 10th you've got Cowboys taking an O-lineman. I thought the issues was on defense. Why are they taking an O-lineman? Just some other key picks. So you've got Kyle Pitts, 11 to the Giants. Love Kyle Pitts. I really hope Giants can trade up, potentially get him. Mac Jones, 15 to the Patriots. I don't necessarily see that working out, but any other QBs there?
I mean, that's exact. If of all things, that would be the exact thing that happens, wouldn't it? But I'm gonna say this was very different to Todd McShay's draft. Hold on.
My initial thoughts, looking at it, I'm intrigued by how many wide receivers are taking that early, and how some of the QBs are, I would say, falling a little bit, because I've seen quite a few mock drafts from CBS or whoever they may be taking about 4 or 5 QBs in the top 6 or 7, 8 picks. Yeah, that's just my initial thoughts. And as I was saying about Mac Jones, if some of his biggest criticism is he's got all this talent in Alabama compared to everyone else, he's got 2 receivers going in the top 3 according to this draft, top 7 in this draft. How is he going to work in New England where they don't have that many weapons? That's been
the scary part about Alabama and all that, because obviously they have such amazing talent around their QBs and all that.
Yeah.
So when you're picking a position that is obviously been made to look good by the people around them, people get scared. But when it came to Tua, they thought it's because of Tua. Now that looks a bit sticky. But what I was going to say was, in Todd McShay's draft, it was different, because obviously when you go by, in fact, let me get back to it. There was kind of the first pick, obviously still the same, Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, but then the second pick, Penei Sewell.
Ah, okay.
Which was what I've seen it as, which is on every kind of big board, kind of, when they just chuck it out there, which is way too early. But they say it's going to be those 2. Really.
Every year, it feels like there's one can't miss O-lineman. That is just, you had Nelson.
Last year it was Tristan Wirfs.
Exactly, Wirfs, yep. Nelson. This year it's definitely Penei. There's always that one O-lineman which everyone wants. Then
we say that, but Wirfs dropped a lot more. I don't know who the guys picked above him. Don't look too great now either. So
the Giants had, I think it was a top 5 when they picked Andrew Thomas, and I remember everyone that time being, "What? Andrew Thomas being picked that high? Okay, cool."
Then I think at the beginning of the season, people said he was good, but I haven't heard anything since. But that might just be because it's the Giants.
So you were saying that Penei Sewell was second?
Devonta Smith, sorry.
Yeah.
Third. Then Zach Wilson, 4th to the Falcons. Once again, Fields is not the second QB taken.
Since
so that was what had me raising my eyebrows.
Ever since the Jags got the first pick, I don't think I've ever seen Fields second anymore. Yeah. As soon as that happened, he just dropped off. Which
it made no sense, because he must not have had a great. I don't think he had a bad game to end like the last couple regular season games, but they weren't great. They said. I was like, cool, whatever. But then he had that amazing game against Trevor, which the same thing they're saying is at fault for Fields. They were saying is good for Trey Lance, because Trey Lance only had that one game against Ohio State in which he played amazing. But when it's Fields doing it against Trevor, it's just, he can't only do it for just one game on But anyway, so then Rashawn Slater for the Bengals at O-line. The Eagles pick Micah Parsons at middle linebacker.
Okay.
Detroit do not go with a QB. They go with Jamar Chase. How do you feel about that?
Who's their QB going to be?
Yeah, because now, obviously, after this was brought out, Matthew Stafford is gone.
Oh, okay.
At that time, he was just a potential.
Fine.
Now he's actually gone. So there's no way they can't go QB here.
Yeah, they're definitely.
With that being said, here. And then Carolina doesn't go QB either. Kyle Pitts. Denver.
I love Kyle Pitts. Pitts.
So you love Pitts. I've seen Pitts have big games. I don't know why he has them. He's another one.
I don't know why he has them. He's free.
Yeah, but then I've seen him get shut down as well, which something obviously it's dependent on kind of the talent of the other team and blah blah blah.
It's all Kyle Trask's fault.
Well, first of all, he's nowhere near top. Like they thought he was going to be. But they thought he was going to be top like beginning of the season. He ain't there. Denver go inside linebacker with Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, or whatever his name is. Patrick Surtain to the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah.
Cornerback.
Alabama corner. Yeah. At number 10. No, notice anything here? Number 11, Gregory Rousseau.
Yes. The end.
Yeah. Number 12, Caleb Farley.
Caleb Farley. He's another cornerback, right?
Yep. Virginia Tech. Number 13, Sean Wade. Are we noticing anything here?
No.
He's Ohio State.
No QBs. Yeah, carry on.
Yep. Number 14, Christian Darrisaw. O-line again. I don't know who Minnesota are going with, though. I like Minnesota were going tackle, but obviously they can't get rid of Cousins and his contract, but okay.
And 15 must be Fields.
Number 15.
Fields to the Patriots.
Bill Belichick gets Justin Fields. How you go from 2 to 15 with an unbeaten regular season and beating the number 1 pick and outplaying the number 1 pick? What sense does this make?
I don't know. People smarter than me do these stuff, so I've got no answer. And I love this though. This is why I love the draft. I love seeing how these things change.
But then if this actually happens, I understand Bill's reputation has taken a bit of a knock, clearly. He didn't make it to the playoffs. Brady is in the Super Bowl. But if he gets Justin Fields and he does another 20 years of dominance...
No.
Justin Fields ain't playing for 20 years, I don't think. But let's say he did. Let's just throw out there. It's 20 years of dominance. Now the Patriots are back. It's on site for every team that could have picked Fields. Obviously, he's not going like 192nd in the draft or whatever.
I guess we'll see what Detroit does with their pick, but I do want to see if Bill will stick for another rebuild. We'll stick through what the Patriots are doing, come out with a quarterback and see what you can do. I would really like to see it just from a fan's perspective and even for a bit of a football nerd perspective, see what you can do with a different QB, because we all know the conversations that we all know the talk people have when it comes to star players. You've got Tim Duncan as a perfect example, where you hear people like Steven Jackson, who played with Tim Duncan, say, well, if Pop is shouting at Tim Duncan and Tim's taking it, I can't really chat back to Pop when he's saying something to me, because if Timmy can take it, I have to take it. Yeah. And same thing with Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. If I'm shouting at Tom Brady, I can't then turn back and chat shit to Bill Belichick because Tom Brady's taking it, so I've got to take it. How would this now work with Fields? I would, or whichever QB New England get, I would love to see it.
Do New England need to go QB? Is it 100% guaranteed that they go QB in first round?
Ideally, I'd like for them to go for a skill position, especially a wide receiver, to give Cam some options.
Let me say, let's say, because by all accounts so far, not Fields, Trevor Lawrence off the board, Zach Wilson number 2 off the board.
Yep.
So in theory, Detroit have to get a QB.
Yeah.
But we've got Fields, Mac Jones, Trey Lance. Do the Patriots get one of them? And Kyle Trask.
Do they? Well, if Kyle Trask is there, I think they could potentially take Kyle Trask or one of the receivers, because one of the receivers is definitely going to drop. They're going to drop out from what you anticipate them. There's always a couple names that completely come out of nowhere.
Out of the 3, I think it has to be Najee Harris, Devonta Smith, and Jamar Chase. So I think those 3 get picked before him.
Okay. That could be a case. Then Pitts could drop to them, but maybe Pitts could be taken ahead. Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle could slip.
Yes, this is all taken into consideration. We're not doing any trade ups because you just don't know.
I would say no. What do you think?
I think they have. I think Detroit have to go QB. I think for the most part, Patriots have to go QB.
Okay, let's actually start doing some predictions, and then we'll check back on them as the draft, when the draft does happen. So we'll just make some. We'll make three. We'll say yes or no. What is the first prediction? Will New England draft the QB?
So, New England draft QB.
Yeah.
It's too early to say which one.
I would say no.
Okay, you go no.
What do you say? You don't have to agree.
Yes.
Okay.
I say yes.
That is my first. How many Bama players will be taking the top 10?
I can't do that. That won't going to be the next one is meant to be receivers.
Okay, let's do receivers. How many Bama receivers in top 10?
No, not Bama receivers. Then which of the big three? With my big three.
So what are your big three? Chase. Yeah.
Najee. Not Najee. Chase, Devonta Smith, and Jalen Waddle. I'd say all three of them go. Oh, the number I was about to throw out was before 15.
Yeah, I'd say before 15.
But I want to say top 10, but they can't go top 10. There's no way 10. Three of them go top 10. Really?
Okay, I'll say top 10. No, you say outside top 10.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of. I'm thinking of linemen that need. These teams aren't great. I'm thinking of linemen that need to go. I'm thinking of QBs that need to go. All three of them can't go. Surely not. So I'm going all big three. The big three go top 15. No, I say they don't all go by 10. You say fine. They all go by 10.
I say top 10. You say above. Okay. Fine. And we'll squeeze one more question in there. Mac Jones, will he go? What can we make about Mac Jones' prediction? Because I think you're higher on him than I am.
No, I don't think I am personally.
Oh, you think? Okay, I
just think teams are.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Teams are yes or no. I think of all the people that don't get the draft buzz, for some reason, so he's got no buzz around him right now. One of those kind of people always go stupidly high.
I will say, and then you can. I'll gauge your reaction by saying this. I will say he'll go outside the top 20.
Oh.
Are you saying inside top 20?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a wild prediction. I'm going to put out there. Let's go for it.
Yeah. Oh. I'm trying to think. We're at some point, everyone for 5 QBs were going first round.
Yeah.
For that to happen, not many of them make it past 20. Trask, I think, is the one that drops out of the top 20.
Yeah.
So I think Mac makes it.
So at 20, we've got Chicago Bears. 21, we've got Colts. 22, Titans. 23, Jets via Seattle. 24, Pittsburgh. Who knows? They could do with a QB, maybe.
No, we're going. I'd rather go running back or O-line watch.
Okay, actually, let's flip that. We'll take away Mac Jones. What position will Steelers draft?
No, I'm keeping that Mac Jones one, but
what position will Steelers draft? What's your prediction?
I want to say O-line. I don't think
I'll give you two. I'll let you predict. I'll let you predict 3 positional groups, and I have the rest of the field.
Okay, wait. If Najee Harris is there, we're going running back. If not, we go O-line.
Running back / O-line. And what's your last position group?
We're not going to go QB. We're just not. We just signed Dwayne Haskins. We're not going to go QB.
Shit, I forgot about that. We didn't talk.
A team that signs Dwayne Haskins does not sign a QB in the first round.
Locker room. Oh boy.
It just why? Why does it have to be us? Why does it have to be us? It could be anyone else. Why us?
Do you know what you lot are missing? You lot are missing some Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell in that locker room, but too busy. They're preparing for the Super Bowl.
I would prefer them to in the locker room.
Last position group. D-line, you're fine. I feel defense is fine, no?
No,
Unless you could use...
linebacker. It'll be outside linebacker. It'll be
say.
edge rusher. It'll be edge rusher.
Edge rusher. Cool. I like this. I mean, I like to overreact to the draft because it's the only fun thing to do because there's nothing else to do.
Imagine if we... I don't even want to say it. If we trade our pick out of the first round.
That wouldn't be a bad thing if you get 2 additional second round picks. That's not necessarily
Piece
a bad
off,
thing.
Ed.
That's not a bad thing if you need more position players.
Ed, we will potentially lost our QB. We have one of the oldest O-line groups in the league that didn't produce. Potentially, our all-pro center normally is retiring. Our second best edge rusher is hitting free agency because we cannot pay him and he's going to make big money. Our running backs are not great. They are not great. So if we trade out of this first round, we could always have a second corner. We would always have a second corner. That is actually a lockdown corner. If we trade out of this first round, I'm not going to do anything, but I'll be very upset.
So Mel Kiper's got Steelers taking Zaven Collins from Tulsa, who's, as you were saying, outside linebacker, edge rusher. Najee Harris in this mock draft is going 30th to Buffalo. So that's what they have here. That's what Mr. Kiper's predicting here.
As compared to McShay, who has us taking Najee Harris.
Okay.
And then what was the next one that you were saying?
It is the geezer's name. Where did he go? Oh, there he is. Zaven Collins. From Tulsa.
He is nowhere. Yeah, I don't even know where he is on this thing. But
cool.
But no. I'm going to explain why. Yeah, James Conner.
I don't want to hear the Steelers talk, but go.
No, he's played. So this is rookie deal is finished. So technically he's a free agent now. Bud, free agent. QB is almost out the window. What was my other pick? Running back, O-line, old, retiring, and always injured. Potentially retiring.
I mean, I'll also say receivers as well, and Juju's a free agent as well. That's also potentially.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. No. I think they go free agency for that one.
Oh, Allen Robinson. I think Allen Robinson's available. I don't think you have enough money to pay him. Allen, come back to Duval County. Come on, Allen. Come on. So that was our second down. We just had a bit of fun with the draft, seeing what the latest mock drafts are saying and just giving our 2 cents, just how we're thinking what's going on. Now, Joel, as you like to call it, the money down. Third down, baby.
Ching ching. What you got?
So for who are you? That this is where we make a prediction. This is where we make a comparison from someone in the NFL to someone in the sporting world. I usually like to make football ones because that's one of the sports I follow closely. And Joel. So I was just watching this 3-headed monster of Mahomes, Hill, Kelce. And so, by the way, for those watching for the first time, we don't tell each other who we're going to compare, so it's going to be a fresh reaction, and Joel will predict who he thinks the comparison is going to be. I was watching these 3 boys, and I'm thinking, wow, this is just unbelievable. I can't believe how they managed to establish these 3 talented players on one team. And it reminded me of an attacking trio that other teams used to have that was completely unstoppable and once regarded as actually potentially one of the best teams ever. And the way they play, the way they're able to be so impactful, how each one of those 3 are absolute game changers. I think that's all I need to say, and you will have a prediction who it could potentially be.
MSN.
Yes. So that was my initial first reaction. That was my thing. Is like, wow, they are exactly like Messi, Suarez, and Neymar when they came to Barcelona and did the treble and were just unstoppable as an attacking 3. And then it's easy to compare actually Mahomes to Messi. You've got Kelce, who I think will be Suarez, and you've got Tyreek Hill, who's Neymar. And I think their play styles match a little bit. But then I thought of another front 3 actually, and actually their play styles relate a lot to the next front 3. And it's a Premier League front 3, but an older Premier League front 3.
Oh, let's go Aguero!
No. It was going to be the front 3 of Rooney, Ronaldo, and Tevez.
Ooh.
Because I think that comparison is actually a lot better, because then you've got Ronaldo, who's definitely Patrick Mahomes, GOAT status, unbelievable players, can turn the game on switch. You've got Tevez and Tyreek Hill. Tevez, just absolute energy dog on the left, on the wing when he played there for United. At that time, just an absolute beast, can create something from nothing as well. Felt Kelce. And then you've got Wayne Rooney, who's Travis Kelce. Though they don't necessarily... Wayne Rooney was a bit short for his size compared to most other strikers. Kelce's a big body tight end. They've also got that rough-ended aggression and can also make big plays and can draw multiple defenders towards them. Rooney could sometimes occupy 2 defenders. Kelce can do that as well. And I felt, wow, actually watching Kelce, Mahomes and Hill reminds me of Tevez, Ronaldo and Rooney. I'm not sure if you think MSN is a better comparison, but that's just what I was thinking watching them. I just felt this is just so unfair.
No, that's a nice comparison. MSN, you'll think more, I think obviously more flair. I think those guys get labeled as flair players. So MSN is a bit more, beautiful game.
Definitely.
But I like that. I like that.
So that's I just think they're ridiculous, sort of what Kelce and Hill was able to do. Gosh, it's just so unfair. I don't think there's much chance for the rest of us in the AFC unless the savior from Clemson himself has something to say about it.
You know what? Yeah, I just thought of something so dumb. It don't even make sense. But
I can't even remember. I thought it's so dumb. I can't even remember what I thought. Go on.
It's just okay. So, it just don't make sense. It just don't make sense.
I mean, nothing you say usually makes sense anyway. So
no. So yeah. Okay. So I'm just gonna go with it because why not? It's more exciting than whatever else I could have planned. So we've got a player that has looked at their team, looked at their office, their front office of their team, the organization, side. I mean, like, these guys are amateurs. They don't know what they're doing. I need to get out of here. Welcome to the stage, Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Welcome to the stage, Deshaun Watson. He has been labeled before, draft night by his college coach, Dabo Swinney, as the Michael Jordan of football.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's done so much for this franchise, his team, the Houston Texans, but they just cannot get out of their own way. They, from the heights that he looked at, they were getting to with him, they have done a steep drop. Let's not forget they weren't amazing before him, but he came in, he put them on an astronomical path. They thought he was going to be like, he was going to take them to the Mahomes level that he took the Chiefs. But then obviously Mahomes came in. But then the team they stepped off a cliff. And he's very, very disgruntled. So you start thinking along that path, and you start thinking about other sports that may have a player that has been touted a great. Some may have shown it, some may have starting to get into their stride, but really the team is getting in their way. Now, when you think of the histories of these clubs, right, they don't really match up, because the Texans, the best thing they've done is draft Watson and almost have a decent playoff run. Not a good playoff run, almost have a decent playoff run. That also means they didn't have a playoff run. However, the team I'm thinking of has had a very storied history of winning. But right now, their current Michael Jordan, let's say, is very disgruntled. So much so that Deshaun Watson is trying to make sure that he's not him in this previous year when he tried to force a move out. I know you're confused because the links are not strong. But right now, if you've got to think,
what sport is it? Is it football?
It is football. Someone who recently tried to force a move.
Debate one is Messi.
Debate one is Messi.
Okay.
You can't be the Michael Jordan of the sport and not be kind of compared to the Michael Jordan of the next sport. You get what I mean? But more importantly, this comparison really gets strong if what happens this off season. If Deshaun can get out, then the comparison is pretty much done. But if he's forced to play for another year with the Texans or see out his contract, he's done. Oh, this is literally the exact same situation, but with a team that has no like footing on why they should be able to do that. At least Barcelona could say, we were there, we know how to get that back there again. We're just going through a rough patch for our standards, right? Houston are going through a rough patch for everyone's standards.
Yeah. I think also Messi's also proven himself a lot more than Watson and his
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. But it's more about kind of the disgruntled feeling. This is more kind of off the field more than on the field kind of thing. Yeah. And it's very, very, very dependent on the kind of outlooks of the team. Because in all reality, it was in Messi's contract. He should have been able to go. The pandemic stopped it. Cool. So he was forced to play.
There was a weird clause in that. Yeah.
He was forced to play another year. Deshaun Watson has just signed an extension and now wants out. If he has to sit out some games, like Messi didn't come to the training camp, like didn't do the preseason, didn't all that. Like, he just sat out for a bit and then joined in and was like, okay, since you're not going to let me go, I'll join eventually. We're going to see this with Deshaun. If he is still signed to the Texans come preseason time, which there might not be a preseason again, but during the camp times, he might not return to Houston. You might just see him just hanging around New York. He's looked at Harden and seen how he's done it. You might just see an out of shape Deshaun Watson. I doubt that would happen. Oh, also, by the way, was James Harden wearing a fat suit?
He must have been.
Was he wearing a fat suit?
He must have been.
Because this needs to get talked about a lot more than it has been.
Yeah, it looks like it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was, sometimes camera angles can do madness, but
yeah. But those are a lot of angles and video.
He looks like he definitely had a pre-match meal. Come, chill out, dude. Chill out.
To the point where it's in the pre-game commentary. Like, what is going on? And then he gets to Brooklyn, and suddenly he's a supermodel.
Okay, he's not.
Okay, I hear that, but for a couple of days, that's a lot of weight to lose.
Yeah, it was funny. Maybe the clubs in New York aren't as lit as they are in Houston.
No, you know what I think? I think he tried it. No, I think obviously different COVID restrictions, but I think he tried to gain weight and get out of shape, but he didn't have he didn't gain as much as he thought he would. So obviously he's still got a bit of it there, but you had to add on some little extra with some, with some makeup and thing, yeah, and add a little padding, and then he took it off. Obviously he's still chunky, but that's anyway. Yeah, so kind of even three of them. That's all three kind of similar situations.
Yeah.
One of them got out. One of them had to stay. We're gonna see where the third one goes.
That is the final down. That's been third in Atlantic. 3 downs you've had today.
Crown him.
Yes, you are officially the title holder.
With a week to go again.
Oh, yeah, I'll start calling you 1 week Joel.
That's what the ladies call me.
Why? Because you're only around for a week, then you duck out?
No, because they only like me for a week.
Let me send a message to Katie about that.
I'm surprised you stuck around that long, man.
I was going to fire another shot, but I couldn't think of anything in time, so I'll allow it. Right. Shout out Miss Katie May.
Yes, sir. So that is... Got my crown. I actually might buy a crown,
I was going to say, I'm obviously I'm big into Morrison, so a belt would be cool, but I think belt is being overdone right now. Everyone loves doing belts nowadays.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's true. I'm going to do some research. I'm going to see where it goes.
Could get a ring.
Are we going? We have to do one after the Super Bowl, innit?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I have 2 weeks to make a decision, basically.
Oh, scary.
Yes, sir. But that's Third and Atlantic. Thank you guys for tuning in. For those who made it this far, love you. See you next week.
Everyone else, suck
preview
your
to the
mum.
Super Bowl.
Suck your mum, everyone else.
I mean, he said what he said. So that's Third and Atlantic. See you later. Peace.